Much the same thing has happened with Keir Starmer this time. His brutal authoritarianism, well documented by the way.
Things going fine, it's all marvellous. You'd be all over him like a rash, wouldn't you? Because he would be lying. But his honesty, I think, shows that there's an ability for this government to learn.
The UK Supreme Court, in a historic and unprecedented move, issued a formal ruling that sent shockwaves through Westminster. Prime Minister Keir Starmer must resign immediately. The reason? A sprawling £124,000 financial scandal involving secret payoffs, undeclared donations, and a web of cover-ups that reached the highest levels of government. What was once whispered in corridors and online forums has now exploded into a legal and political firestorm broadcast live to the entire nation. Until now, Starmer had weathered criticism, evaded calls for inquiry, and dismissed growing public distrust as mere political noise. But this was no longer noise. This was the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom handing down a damning verdict on live television.
For the last 4 years, Keir Starmer has been in charge of a brutal, inhuman, pitiless political machine.
Effectively calling Starmer unfit for office. The ruling wasn't symbolic, it was binding, and it has thrown the country into immediate constitutional crisis. The roots of the scandal trace back months, maybe years. Quiet payments made to political allies, suspicious consulting contracts issued through shell firms, and an unregistered £124,000 donation funneled through a supposedly independent organisation tied directly to Starmer's own campaign apparatus. For weeks, investigative journalists tried to bring the details to light. But today, it wasn't a newspaper, a whistleblower, or even a parliamentary watchdog that delivered the final blow. It was the highest court in the land. The live courtroom feed showed a visibly grim bench of justices as they read their conclusions. Their words were clear. This court finds that the Prime Minister has knowingly received, concealed, and benefited from unlawful funds in violation of the ministerial code and parliamentary standards. The ruling also noted that attempts were made to suppress key documents and block internal inquiries, an effort the justices called an egregious abuse of executive authority.
To the 126 total rebels. I mean, is he a Prime Minister that only a year after being elected is actually already on the way out?
As those words were spoken, gasps filled not only the courtroom but the entire country. Phones buzzed, news anchors struggled to contain their shock. In Downing Street, panic spread like wildfire, and Starmer, he was nowhere to be seen. His last public appearance had been a carefully choreographed visit to a London housing estate, smiling for cameras and touting economic stability. That illusion is now gone, shattered by cold legal fact. Within minutes, opposition MPs demanded immediate action. Some called for handcuffs, others demanded a caretaker government be installed by sunset. Reform UK, still riding high from their Labour defection coup, declared the court's decision a moment of reckoning and called for a general election within 30 days. The Conservatives, reeling from years of infighting and scandal themselves, issued a rare joint statement with Liberal Democrats and Greens urging Starmer to respect the rule of law and step aside without further chaos.
Much the same thing has happened with Keir Starmer this time. His brutal authoritarianism, well documented by the way.
The public reaction was instantaneous and volcanic. Protesters gathered outside Parliament waving signs that read, "Resign now" and "No man is above the law." Social media collapsed into a frenzy. Hashtags like "Thug Starmer out," "Axe Supreme Verdict," and 124K scandal trended globally within an hour. Whistleblowers began stepping forward, one even appearing live on a late-night program alleging that internal memos existed warning Starmer months ago that the payments violated ethics rules and that he laughed it off.
Things going fine, it's all marvellous. You'd be all over him like a rash, wouldn't you? Because he would be lying. But his honesty, I think, shows that there's an ability for this government to learn.
Then came the second explosion, a leaked audio file. In the recording, released anonymously to multiple outlets, Starmer can allegedly be heard discussing how to neutralize the situation with a covert payout to a former aide who threatened to go public. He wants money? Fine. Pay him. Bury it, the voice says. Experts are analysing the tape, but initial voice prints suggest it matches Starmer's public speaking profile. If verified, this isn't just unethical, it's criminal. The Supreme Court didn't mince words. In the judgment's final lines, it stated, "No individual, regardless of rank, can operate outside the constitutional framework. The Prime Minister must step down, effective immediately. This isn't a request, it's a legal command, and unless Parliament or the monarch intervenes, Starmer's tenure as Prime Minister is functionally over." And yet, the silence from number 10 is deafening.
Court that we've all paid for through our tax money to tell us things that we already knew, I think is absolutely disgraceful.
No resignation speech, no press conference, no official statement. Sources inside the Prime Minister's office say Starmer is furious, shocked, and considering legal counteraction, though experts say there's no room for appeal on a judgment this final. Other insiders claim he's in denial, refusing to accept the reality that his political career just ended live on national television. It's a stunning fall for a man once hailed as Labour's saviour. Starmer rode into office on promises of integrity, transparency, and accountability. He built his brand on being the opposite of chaos, but behind the scenes, a different narrative was unfolding. One of backroom deals, political debts, and elite protection. And now the mask is off. This isn't just a scandal, this is a collapse. Starmer's allies are fleeing fast. Senior cabinet members are deleting posts, erasing mentions, rewriting loyalty pledges. Some are openly jockeying for leadership succession. Others are claiming they had no knowledge of the payments in question. But leaked communications suggest that at least 3 senior ministers were not only aware, they helped coordinate damage control. If that's proven, resignations will multiply, and a full party implosion could be just days away.
And the reason why client journalism is a worry is that Sir Keir Starmer has a lot of serious questions to answer. He tells lies.
The monarch has reportedly been briefed. Discussions about invoking royal prerogative powers are taking place behind tightly sealed doors. Emergency meetings have been scheduled with the Speaker of the House and leaders of all major parties. No one knows what tomorrow looks like, but everyone agrees on one thing. Starmer cannot survive this. The implications are enormous. Labour's credibility is decimated. Reform UK has a golden opportunity. The Tories, though battered and bruised, are suddenly relevant again. And the public, burned by scandals from every direction, is demanding a total reset. This could trigger a snap election. It could spark a broader reckoning about money in politics. It could even bring about constitutional reform.
Run a very ugly political machine on his way to power. We need to know about that.
For now, the streets around Whitehall are filling. Journalists are swarming. Police have cordoned off number 10. Every camera in the country is pointed at a single door, waiting for a man who might not walk out with dignity, but will almost certainly walk out for the last time. 1 minute ago, the highest court in the country handed down a thunderbolt. Now the country waits for the man in the storm to answer.